Okay, this is the e-commerce primer, and these are the things that I want you to think about before you spend even $1. Okay? First things first. You got an idea. Awesome. But in order to take that idea to concept, you need an overview before you go charging off and spending any money. So even before writing a business plan, you want to get organized. There's 3 main areas that you want to explore first before doing anything else. That's building your site, the product itself, and the marketing. All 3 of these things work together. Now, we're going to assume that you already have your product idea decided, and it really needs to be something that you enjoy and something that you're passionate about. This way you have a long-term interest in it for marketing's sake, and that'll keep you motivated to keep working on it and keep working on it, because that's what having an internet site's about. There's 2 different ways to get a product. Okay? One is called drop shipping, the other is called inventory based. They each have their own merits, but these are the 2 techniques, and you need to know what those techniques are before you even spend $1. Dropshipping model is based on a vendor or manufacturer, and they have a product, let's say it's a well-known brand name that you can carry. They also have a system built for offering the product and shipping the product, and then they offer the product to you at a particular wholesale price. It's important to know that you need to know your prices. Dropshipping allows you to carry a larger product selection without having to inventory that particular product. You can have thousands of products because the manufacturer has thousands of products. You don't have to even touch it in the selling process. And each manufacturer will have their own rules of engagement, such as shipping times, shipping styles, shipping companies, minimum advertising prices, etc. Inventory systems are where you handle the stock and the merchandise that you're selling. You're going to store it, you're going to touch it, you're going to box it, you're going to ship it out, and you're going to have to make your own system. These generally require a larger investment because you have to buy all the product all at once. If you want to get a good price, you got to buy a lot. So you can also manufacture your own product and be considered inventory based. Here's where the rubber meets the road, the margins. The margin is your profit margin. It's the main difference between the 2 types of margins are what kind of profit that you get from each one. Dropshipping margins are generally much less than inventory, and that's because you have a middleman, which is the manufacturer. Typical dropshipping margins are about 20 to 25%. Inventory margins are a lot higher. Pros and cons. They both have their advantages, and this is kind of where you decide which type of model you want to start with. Do you want to be a dropshipper, or do you want to inventory your product? It's important to know the difference, and you can mix the techniques. You can have an inventory-based site with some dropshipping items on it, which is good. I do that. Finding products. Once you know your chosen technique, you can then set out to find the products. You got to know that there's a lot of people out there that say they're wholesalers, and they have great prices, and we have a ton of product, and their prices are terrible. So you need to know what your retail prices are for your product, and that gives you a leg up. The next thing you're going to do is marketing, and you need to understand this fact. Just because you built this really neat website doesn't mean that people are going to come and give you money. All products need to be marketed, and that requires knowledge. Again, this is still before we spent $1. SEO. SEO is the knowledge or the technique of ranking your pages and products. SEO stands for search engine optimization. You have to really understand this if you're going to be in the game. You can outsource this. You can have people do your search engine optimization for you. But the bottom line is you need to set aside some money on a monthly basis to market and advertise your site. It's unbelievably important. So when you get back to the website, there's many ways to build it. You can do it yourself, or you can outsource it. That's pretty much straightforward. There's pros and cons. If you're gonna do this, you need to come out of the gate running, because the internet's very competitive. So do yourself a huge favor and outsource your design. This way you can go about doing something else while the site is being built, and you could put your time into something different, like your marketing or your SEO or finding new products. Again, budget is key. You have to figure out an amount that you need to have to start the site. You got to have a domain, a hosting, and a plan. Usually you can get all of that in one place. It's not that big of a deal. So what's this leading to? Knowing these three important facts are the fundamentals. And I do this for every website I ever start. I never play it by ear. I never skip a step. It only leads to stress and frustration. I take my idea and then I figure, okay, I got my idea. I got to figure out if I'm going to drop ship or inventory, where am I going to get the product, and what my competition is. So I start with a number. Pick the number that you're comfortable with. Add in the product purchase, the marketing, and the site design costs. This gives you a realistic number that you can do. Once you have that number and you say, okay, this is what I can spend on this, you move to the next step, and that's keyword research. That's the next thing you do to figure out if there's a market or demand. Again, we haven't spent any money yet, and this really doesn't take that long. But you got to find out what people are typing into Google. That's the Google search box. Those things that they type in are called keywords. And you have to find out, and it's very easy, if people are looking for products that you sell. And you can do that with Google AdWords keyword tool. And you want to take some time here, because you don't want to build a site around a product that nobody wants. So you can outsource that as well. If you're planning to get into the business, there's always more things to do than there is time. So if you're going to be really good at it, delegate and outsource, build it into your budget, and you can write it off, so who cares? Again, the last thing you want to do is look at your competition. You want to pull up page 1 of Google, see who they are, and see if you're staring at the heavyweight champion of the world. You want to find out if the people on page 1 if they know what they're doing, or they got there by accident. You can get there by accident if the competition's really bad. Google has to put something there. So if they're vulnerable, you can come in, enter a market, and take over, which is what I like to do. In summary, do your homework. It doesn't have to take forever. Look at the competition, then decide if you're going to jump in. It really doesn't take that long. There's the 3 components.